Hey, this is Tony, and thank you for joining me here at Coolest Life, Masonic Edition, as you can see right there. So I'm out here in Lebanon. Lebanon. There's no T in Lebanon. Lebanon, PA. So we're not far. We're somewhere between Hershey and there's another city out here. I guess Lebanon is probably the largest city in this area. Not far from Reading, actually between Hershey and Reading. So anyway. So this is where Mount Lebanon has their meetings, and I'm going to go inside and knock to see if I can gain admission. The good news is I should be able to get inside, especially with all these cars here. The bad news is they're not having a meeting, so I can't set in lodge or anything like that, because this is actually, well, Saturday morning. There's a Masonic Association meeting, which is the only reason I can get in here at all today, because I'm just out here living the coolest life, Masonic Edition. Well, good news, I'm in and got approval. So we walk into the main area, and they've got a nice, a good sized hallway here, bathrooms and all in their main room. As you walk into their first room, they've got two lodges that meet here. This is Mount Lebanon Lodge 226, as you see there. And they've also got, it's another mount, what's it called? Mount Olive Lodge 704. A lot older ones here. And what they've done is they've come together and they built this building in 2012. They also joined up with York Rite. So you got your high priest list here, your illustrious master, and your commandery down there. So they all meet here. Also, Eastern Star meets here, and a Tall Cedars, which you don't see very much. So one of these days, I'll get a Tall Cedars and see how the room is set up for Tall Cedars, because I actually don't know. I've never been to one. But let me show you what I'm looking at here as we step back out of this room. I've seen some door knockers outside, but I don't see any here. Looks like you can come in either door. Senior warden chair sets up like this. They've got a, not only they got their deacons, but they've got master of ceremonies, and they've also got a marshal. So that's what these chairs are set up here. They did a good job replacing all these. It looks like I don't know if they brought these from another lodge but they're all the same kind of ornateness. This particular chair here stands about, at the top of it, stands about 5'6". Good tall chair. Over here, as in most lodges, you're going to see a picture of George Washington. It's actually going to be this picture that you'll see. From what I gather, all of the aprons that you'll see are curved like this, but through time, it was easier to make aprons if they're not individually handmade. It's easier to make them square, and a lot cheaper to make them square. So that's why a lot of lodges today will use square. And he's also, it's like he's holding that setting maul and not a gavel in his hand. Of course, he uses it like a gavel to run lodge. Their treasurer does sit over here, and their secretary over there, I believe. I might have that backwards. Here's where their master would sit. They've got a sound system built in here so that when he speaks over here, the speakers over on this side of the room do not come on. Only the speakers on the other side of the room, so you don't get any feedback at all. It's a really nice sound system. Well, this chair is a little more ornate and a little taller. It stands about 7 feet. But it's in really good condition. Maybe they bought these in 2012. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me. But it's just a really good looking chair. They don't have the room set up because so many different orders use this, to include commandery, which they've got their old school flag here. It's a really nice flag. I mean, the embroidery's killer. And this is definitely an older style. It's got some wear and tear on it. This is Hermit Commandery number 24 here in Lebanon, PA. One of the nicer banners. I won't call it a flag because it's a banner. It actually hangs. That I've seen. They've got a, traditionally, they've got a wreath here also. that they put using as their logo. Like there's one right here. There's also one over here. There's also one on the altar. So I'm going to show you here in just a second. And you've got 3 rows. The room is pretty square by looking at it. I will say one other thing I noticed when I came in here. You've got the columns that are here. You've got Corinthian up top on this corner. Also got a nice keystone. Of course, Pennsylvania being a keystone state. And they've got 2 steps here, which is unusual because you've also got 2 steps over here, but no one else is up there with him. But you can see he's got the Doric columns up top. And you've got the 3 lesser lights over here. These are actually wired in. You can see there's no wires going here, so they got these wired in. And we've seen a lot of these type of light bulbs before. Pretty common to see these. I really like these. A lot of them will flicker just a little bit. And then you see the wreath ornamentation here in the front also. What you don't find in lodges like this, especially when they share rooms, you don't find the lodge names on the altar or someplace like that. And actually these chairs didn't even have senior warden, junior warden, or master on them. So I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. And actually I do believe that these are opposite. I think this is the secretary's desk in the state of Pennsylvania. It's the only state I know of that has that the secretary is actually on this side instead of that side. But it's you also see the number of steps he's got here. He does have 3, but he's got 3 here that symbolize that that's where the master sits. And if he has any visitors, maybe the district deputy might be visiting him. The district deputy has an opportunity to sit up there with him. Obviously, the Grand Master, if the Grand Master's visiting, he would 100% sit up there with the master if he was not presiding. In the back here, through this door, they've actually got storage, and they have a whole lot of items. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and poke this door open. Maybe the light's on. This is bonus footage. And there is a light switch here. And they have a lot of storage for, you can see the commandery. They have a lot of pieces that came from the old building. So these would be where they would put their apron individually. It's awful high too. Because that's one big piece. I mean, the worship master couldn't even see in top because that's like over 6 feet up here. Well, they got some items over here that they're ready to create a library if they wanted to, and they got a lot of items in here. Tall Cedars meets here. I don't know enough about Tall Cedars, but they got some of their items in here also. And you can see some of their high-tech stuff where their sound system is back here. It is just a beautiful lodge, and I always like the workmanship that goes in them. Not a ton of recessed lighting. Well, there's recessed lighting, but not the indirect lighting around the side. A lot of times some of the older buildings will have that going around the extra crown molding, but it is a beautiful lodge and well governed. They've got a trustees meeting that just had a meeting here for all the different bodies that meet here. Will meet and they'll talk about the building improvements, anything like that they might need to do. So if you get a chance, if you're in the area in Lebanon, PA, be sure to come visit these brothers here at Mount Olive Lodge or Mount Lebanon Lodge, and be sure to come see them. Check their websites. I'll have a link down below in the description. Links to both websites so you can contact them if you want to come see them. Because I'm going to let you go. Be sure to like and subscribe and send this video to other people that you know that might be in the area. Because you're not leaving the coolest life, Masonic edition.